Hello everyone, Anna here from Savvy Cat Realty, and today I'm going to talk to you about loans, how to get them, what spreads to expect, banks, what documents you need, opening a bank account, all those kinds of things that my clients are usually worried about. First of all, I would like to thank you all so far for the incredible support you have showed me and for the incredibly positive feedback I have received from the viewers that saw me with Coral Munson. I'm very, very grateful. It has been amazing. I never imagined that I would be so well received as I was. So thank you very much, everyone who sent me a message. It is deeply appreciated. And thanks to you all and how fast this is spreading, I think next year I may be able to start the recovery of my father's farm. So I'm incredibly grateful for everything you and all the support I've received so far. So into today's theme, which is loans. Of course, not everyone I work with needs a loan, but it's always good to know how things work. And some of my clients are already aware that it's a good time to take advantage of the interest rates that are quite low at the moment, because the banking system, as you know, there is a value of, right now I can't remember the name of it, but there is a standard tax, that standard fee that gets deducted, that is set by the European Bank. And right now that is quite negative. So the spreads for banks are at an all-time low. I don't think they have been this low for over like at least 5-6 years. I'm pretty sure more, but I haven't been paying attention that long, but at least that time. So it's a very good opportunity if you're needing to ask for a loan. And even if you don't have full need to ask for a loan, and you can pay back later, it can just be a good way to manage because the interest isn't that high. So the first thing I will talk to you about that I get asked often is which bank is best. I don't think there is a best bank or a worst bank, but I would say what I can say is that older banks are considered safer because they have been in the market longer. Some of the old, big, safe ones could be said to be BP, Millennium. Caixa is the public one. Well, it's safe, but its systems aren't very updated, and I don't really like their app, but each people have their own needs. Novo Banco is also a big one, but it went bankrupt. It was saved by the state, so I wouldn't say that it's a very safe option. And then there's the newer banks, and the newer banks are usually more competitive in regards to fees and are more up to date in technology and have better offers because, well, they have to compete with the safety of the big banks, of course. And it's up to each one which one they want to bet on your particular needs. For example, one of my personal needs is I like my bank to have very good net banking because I like to do everything online, all the payments, all the processes to pay invoices. I like to do everything online. So I like that they have a good app, a good website, and a safe system. I can tell you that I use BPI, but it's not incredible. I'm satisfied. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's a bank, and it's up to each person which one they choose. In regards to the spread, as I was saying, it's a very good time to ask for loans because for the first time ever, banks are doing spreads of 1% in Portugal. And what is the spread? The spread is basically the bank's commission, how much money they make out of your loan. And with a 1% spread, that means basically that you would be paying to twice the house, but it also depends a lot on how long your loan is, because here banks are authorized to do loans up to 40 years, and they don't do loans for ending when you are over 75 years of age. But for young people, sometimes it's even possible to ask for 50 years. So you can get pretty low monthly payments thanks to all this, because you can spread it over a long time. So even if you do have the ability to pay it sooner, it can be advantageous to ask for it anyway, because you get the ability to just, pay for it later and not lose that much money. There is a commission that you pay for liquidating the loans, and I understand this is not the case in every country, and so in other countries this commission does not exist, some of them, but here it is standard, and the commission is 0.05%, so it's not that much. I know when I liquidated the last loan I asked, I paid about 700 euros for liquidating 120k. So I would say it's worth it. If you do, for example, if you don't have the money right now and could have it later, and you can keep the spread as variable, and you don't pay that much to liquidate everything. So that's another thing I should mention: the difference between variable spreads and fixed spreads. So variable spreads are calculated every year. This can change between banks, but it's written on your contract when the spread is renegotiated and recalculated, and it's usually a year. It will change depending on the market and depending on the Euribor ratings. That's the name I was looking before, by the way. It's the Euribor. So they will change. They have the potential to change every year. They may stay the same depending on how things go. If it goes lower, they usually don't tell you anything, and you have to go to them and say, "Oh, look, it went lower." You have to make it lower. So always keep in mind that you can renegotiate your spread. If you choose a fixed spread, that doesn't happen. So it will be higher than the variable spread for standard, but it will stay the same at all times, no matter how much the Euribor and market varies. So it's safer if you are truly intending to keep the loan for a long term. It is definitely much safer to do a fixed spread. Right now, the variable rates are going for 1%, so I think you could probably negotiate the fixed one for 1.2, 1.3. It's always good to negotiate and ask several banks, because, well, when you go and ask several others, there's always the negotiation aspect. So, okay, I can get this deal on this bank, will you match it? And the banks do make a lot of money in loans, so they are usually willing to negotiate to an extent, and it's always good to have an idea of what the market is offering and other banks is offering. I understand that can be complicated for foreigners because, well, not all banks have good English representatives, and the truth is that usually depends on the office itself. So if the office has good English-speaking workers or not, it's not so much of the bank speaking English or not. So all of them probably have English representatives somewhere, but some agencies, some offices may not have good English speakers, and that make things harder. However, you should still be able to send an email to them, and they should still be able to reply with you with conditions and what they can offer, and eventually with you can make a meeting. And probably nowadays they will be more open to online meetings, but I am not 100% sure if they are catching up on that. I would say it would be a good idea too. So, what else? Down payments. Okay, so down payments can be as low as 10% if you have a working position, a permanent working position in Portuguese territory. So if you are moving here and have a work, you will be working with a contract that doesn't have an end date, you are able to get this kind of rates. So Portuguese people, it isn't that hard. It's actually the standard to only do 10% down payment for the bank loans. But for foreigners and independent workers or self-employed people, they don't like that because they find it's not a very good guarantee, and they usually ask for at least 20% down payment. This is, of course, negotiable depending on how much down payment you are willing to make. It will be much easier to negotiate. For example, if you are going to pay 50% of the price or out of pocket and you only need other 50%, the probability is you are able to pre-approve the loan. But if you are asking for 80% of the value or more, or even 70%, it's very unlikely that they will pre-approve the loan, and they will only approve your loan after you give them a specific house and a rating, and they do the evaluation of the house, and only after that they approve your loan. So that's something to take into consideration as a foreigner, because it may make things harder. The documents you need to open a bank account and ask for a loan. So to open a bank account, it depends. If you are coming here for residency, you will need to have a forwarding address in Portugal. If you are not coming here for residency and just coming here as an investor but want to maintain your residence outside of Portugal, you only need a proof of address of your residence where you live, but you will still need a Portuguese NIF number. So you will still need an investor visa and a NIF number for that, but you don't need the address here, so that may make things easier. In regards to the forwarding address, you don't have to use the address you will be living in yet, because, well, in this case you wouldn't have bought the house yet, so of course you can. But lots of lawyers and other agents have services for forwarding address, and you can use one of this. So the main point of this is that they can send letters and have a way to reach you besides email and virtual contacts. So it doesn't really need to be your residence yet, it just has to be a way to reach you. In regards to identification and signature, in most cases, some agencies have ways to do this digitally, but it's better to do it on paper, and usually it is required either approved signature that has been verified by a lawyer or notary, or someone that has a lawyer letter from you that is able to do that. So this kind of things is always better to take care with the lawyer, because, well, it's safer. They are defending your best interest because they are obliged to by contract. I can help you with the paperwork, but I definitely advise to, if you are going to pass a lawyer letter, I would advise to do that to someone that is independent and only defending your own interests in this case. So, I don't know what else I need to mention about banks. In regards to down payments and monthly bills, you will have to show proof of income for asking for a loan. They usually ask from 6 months to 1 year bank statements proving your income that is stable, or the retirement checks, that kind of thing. As long as it's a stable income, they do accept. It doesn't have to be a job, so you just have to be a positive standard income and in-stream in your bank account. And in order for them to loan, the amount of the monthly installment cannot be superior to 35% of your average monthly income. So do take that into consideration when you are asking for a loan, because it's very unlikely they will approve if it is superior to 35% of the average of your monthly income in the past 6 months to a year. For foreigners, they do tend to ask for 1 year. For residents, it's more usual for 6 months. Let me see what else I could mention here. For ID, they ask for your passport. They will ask for the NIF number and the documents for either investment or residency, depending on what your goal is here. And you do have to have either the declaration of your governmental taxes from your country of residency, or if you are already residing here, you need to show the IRS from the previous year. I think that covers everything in regards to banks and bank loans. If there is any questions anyone would like to ask, please do. I don't think I am forgetting anything right now. I think I covered more or less everything, but you never know. If someone does come up later that is not watching this live, feel free to leave a comment. I will come back to you as soon as I can. Oh, and do let me know if you're watching this live. I would really like to know who is watching live. Just if you could leave like a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. It is really nice to know who is reaching or when people are watching this. Today it was a shorter live, but I think I covered pretty much everything that I needed to say about loans. And I'm looking forward to our questions to discover if I did forget anything. So everyone who watched, thank you so much for watching. And people who will watch later, thank you so much for watching too. And see you in the comment section. Bye. Oh, I have a question here about swapping your house and getting a loan for the bank. So technically the bank doesn't have anything to do with it. If you do a house swap, and you need to require a bank to cover for the fact that the house you are swapping for is more expensive than the one you are putting into the trade, you usually have to ask the loan in a personal name, because in those cases the bank won't be directly involved in the purchase, because it won't be legally a purchase. It will be, I can't remember the name of that kind of contract, but the bank will not be directly involved, and you would have to ask the loan in a personal name. But I would say the amount would be considerably lower, so the terms would pretty much be the same, and the credits are low value credits, are pretty easy to obtain. So I think that is easier in that regard. But yeah, in regards to the bank interfering as a house loan, it won't be applying, because it won't be a house purchase. It will be a trade that legally is a completely different transaction. I hope that answered your question, Aiden. Thank you so much. You're always watching me. Thank you. And yeah, thank you everyone. If anyone else has any question, I will just wait for a bit more with my kitty. Okay then, so that will be all for this week. I'm planning to put all these videos, informative videos, in my website eventually. I just need some time to organize things in order to do that, and so it is easier to reach and for people to get information on these topics. So see you all next week.